1, 2, 3.
She's Fiona.
And he's Ben. And I'm Ben.
She's Fiona.
And he's Ben.
And this is Push for Health.
Pushing your health from the pulse of life.
I'm asking you to embrace your rotten attitude to exercise and nutrition. And empowering you to give the middle finger to your unrestricted diet and your half-assed exercise routine in just 30 days. Something along those lines. Something to that effect. We're in. Great. That's less than a minute. We've introduced the show. She's Fiona and I'm Ben. And let's go. Brilliant.
Okay. What are we talking about?
Terrible
today,
idea
Ben?
this, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's late in
Recording in the evening. I know no one cares about this. No one cares about the woes. No one cares about me, that I'm tired. I just had to get that out there.
I'm tired too, so I might yawn.
It's a shame. Terrible idea.
Still talking over me.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's the tiredness.
Oh, okay. Makes you delirious.
Awful idea.
Yep.
Anyway,
we're both ready for bed.
We'll be getting straight into bed after this, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's pushing it.
It's 6:30.
Well, who knows how long this will go on for?
Not that long, trust me.
6:30, exactly, yeah.
Right. So what's our topic of discussion today, Ben?
Discipline.
Yeah.
That's the topic.
It is.
The pursuit of discipline.
Oh.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you pursue your discipline?
Well, we're going to get into it. I'm not quite sure how these notes are going to turn out because I've sent you the notes. You have my notes.
I do. I'm looking at them.
And before we recorded, you were just whinging about them.
Yes, because they don't make sense.
There might be someone who's watching who can tell me how to take my notes, give them to you.
And me to approve. I
Yes.
probably will never approve.
Well, I'm asking
I'll
you
try.
right now on camera, how would you like me to deliver the notes to you?
Maybe just a little explanation about what you mean by it, such as I have here, it sucks to do it.
Right. It was more about read these notes and then you
What
go,
are we talking about?
oh, that looks interesting. Oh, can we expand on that? Oh, yeah, of
Sucks
course.
to do the podcast? Sucks to...
Oh, no, it doesn't do that.
Sucks to do what? I don't understand. So, yeah, maybe just a little bit of clarity
Okay.
would be good.
Right.
And just tell me exactly what you want me to read out.
Is this interesting?
Probably not.
Okay. Let's move
But
on
I'm
then.
glad I'm glad
No
we
one
talked
cares.
about it. So discipline can only come from within, Ben. As your notes.
It is, yeah. Well, no, I give you the notes because I want you to scan the notes and then I want your opinion. And
Yes,
then from there, I
absolutely
will then...
Fantastic idea.
Fantastic.
It's a fantastic idea,
Right,
Ben.
right.
But there's no clarity. So I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Right.
For you to send a note, you know exactly what you're talking about. I don't. If I sent you a message saying, it sucks to do it, you'd be just like, what the fuck is she on about?
Not swearing.
Sorry, you'd be saying, what the hell is she on about?
Children.
That's what you'd be saying.
I can elaborate, though. That's the point.
But we have it on these notes.
Anyway, before I start whinging about the position of the lights, let's get to it.
Yes, the camera might go dead.
Discipline can only come from... Oh, that's right. It looked like we were recording on a potato last episode. The quality was not good.
A
Light,
potato?
yeah, it was terrible. The lighting was atrocious. The quality on the camera was just... Still 1080p, but bloody hell. You can notice the difference. This is awkward. What's happened? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So I've got here, haven't I? Discipline can only come from within.
Yeah, tell me a bit about Jocko and Goggins.
Jocko and Goggins, right.
Who are
So
these buckles?
Well, we have talked about these people.
Oh.
I thought we'd touch upon them briefly at the start just to get them out of the way because they're on the extreme end when it comes to self-discipline, discipline,
Right.
motivation, willpower.
Oh, what was that saying that you said?
Jocko,
Yeah.
good.
No.
No, it was the good thing. He has this thing. He's got lots.
No,
He's got lots of things about discipline, but
There was a saying that you said about discipline that I was moaning at you in another podcast.
probably Jocko.
I don't know. I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Jocko. It was the good, wasn't it?
But I was just like,
So I said, for
F's sake.
example, you get fired from your job. You lose your house.
He says,
I've
good.
lost my house. Good.
Hmm.
My wife's had an affair.
Good.
Good. Any more about Jocko?
I don't
Big scary army guy. He's really into the discipline. I think on his Instagram he shows a picture of his watch and it's like, I guess about like 4 a.m. every day. Okay. All right, Jocko.
Swearing.
All right, Jocko. We get it. You're up at 4, but it's discipline. Do you think Jocko wants to get up at 4 a.m. every day?
Does he have any motivational quotes?
No, I'm sure plenty. This is the thing about discipline. Do you think these people want to be doing this?
No. Who would?
That's where.
But then discipline would then, I know we're going to talk about it later according to our notes, but discipline would also become part of a routine as well. And it becomes part of a habit.
Yes, of course.
Because if you're used to getting up at 4 a.m, you'll just continue to get up at 4 a.m.
Discipline, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But if
then it's routine.
if you solely rely on motivation or willpower to get up every day at 4 a.m,
I'd be screwed.
chances are I feel a lot of people won't be getting up every day at 4 a.m. You might manage it once or twice a week, but not every day. If you rely on willpower or motivation. David Goggins. Who's going to carry the boat? He's a character. You must have heard of Goggins. Stay Hard. Black guy, bald. Very scary, shouts a lot. You've never seen Goggins, David Goggins.
No.
He talks about who's going to carry the boat. He was in the... Oh, no. What was he in? Oh, God. What's Goggins in quickly? What was he in? The Marines? I think he was in the Marine Corps. And one of the tests that they go through this hell week, which is just a week of hell, funny enough, where they just do lots of just horrible stuff. Carrying boats, swimming, doing all sorts of stuff. And one of the tasks is they have to carry these boats, these inflatable boats, and they weigh, I don't know, 200 pounds. And logs, they have to carry big logs as well.
I can't find anything.
Along the beachfront, in and out of the sea, you have to carry these big boats, logs, whatever. One of Goggins' quotes that he's quite renowned for is, who's going to carry the boat? So when people are out there at 4 a.m. carrying the boats, freezing cold, people will then fall over. They drop out. The guys they were carrying the boats with. So then Goggins would then shout, who's going to carry the boats? And then that would lift everyone up again. Oh my God. We're going to carry the boats, Goggins. Come on, let's keep going.
Because of the team, because you're part of a team.
Yes.
So
but I think you can take it as a metaphor, can't you?
Well, yeah.
For your own life.
Yeah.
When the chips are down, when things aren't going your way, when you're having a bit of a smelly time, who's going to carry the boat? I can't do this anymore. I've given up. I can't. I just can't push people's health from the pools of life anymore. No, that's it. It's over.
But who's going to push
I
them
can't
then?
record these stupid podcasts anymore. No, it's 6:30. No, it's too late. I'm knackered. This is going to be rubbish. Who's going to carry the boat?
I did. Because I said, let's do it.
Bloody hell, Goggins.
So I motivated you.
I don't think so.
Just go with it.
I think you're the one who's screaming, who's going to carry the boat? Not me. In this case, it's definitely you who's screaming that. Are you listening? Are you switched off over there?
No.
Did you listen to anything I said? I know this.
Yes, carrying the boats, Ben. I'm saying,
I know this is going to be a rough one, but come on.
I can't carry the boats, Ben.
Right.
Okay.
For what? Everything? For life?
Everything. Life.
Right. Okay. What did I say then about Goggins?
You were saying about his motivation.
Did you
you're explaining about the reasons as to why carrying the boats. It was more of a team thing, so that motivated the people to get up and carry the boats because there was nobody else to carry the boats.
Right, okay, yes. And it's a metaphor for life, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
Like I said, yes. But the point with these two, and if we're talking about Goggins, is that the vast majority of people don't need that. They don't need that extremeness. They don't need Goggins in their life. I look at Goggins, I think, oh, great. I'm not inspired by Goggins, not really, because he's too OTT. His body's breaking to pieces. His knees are screwed, his feet, he's like, he's just broken, but he's still going, still running, still doing all his stuff. I'm assuming he still does this. He does lots of his runs and he listens to people who leave negative comments. He has the audio of that in his ears that he listens to. Or just people just saying horrible things. Apparently. Something along those lines. I don't know if that's a bit of a myth.
So what, he gets somebody to record them so he can listen to them?
Potentially. Or maybe he does it himself. Maybe he just reads the comments to himself, records them, and then it's like, Goggins, you suck. No one cares what you have to say, Goggins. We don't care about carrying the boat. And he's just running on listening to that.
Oh, I'd listen to something else.
It's obscene. But my point is, this is going to be this is a rough one. It's a rough episode, this. The point is, most people don't need that level of extremeness. They don't need that level of discipline. They don't need it. Sally, mother of two, doesn't need to hear Goggins talk about who's going to carry the boat. Not really.
Well, no,
because
they're not
if
going to
she's got,
understand it.
you just need to go, right, Sally, you don't need to go for a 4-hour run this morning. Can you go for a 20-minute walk?
Join a walking club. A running club.
Can you just start doing something like that? Because if you say to Sally, right, Sally, who's going to carry the boat? You need to get your ass out there and start going on a 2-hour run. Between picking the kids up from school, you've got to go on that 2-hour run every single day. Oh, but bloody hell. What about loose women? That's on at 12. No, Sally. No more loose women.
Oh.
Who's going to carry the boat? Go hard. Get your trainers on and get out there. if you just say to Sally, right, you can still watch Loose Women, but before or after, can you go for a 20-minute walk?
Or you could buy a walking treadmill and watch Loose Women on the treadmill.
Right, okay. Potentially, yeah.
There you go, killing two birds with one stone.
Right, okay. But that's, you got to pay for the treadmill. Maybe just watch Loose Women and then go for the walk afterwards.
Yes.
Or do a 20-minute workout. Not a huge fan of the HIIT workouts at home, but if that's what gets you going, that gets you started and you can commit to it 2 to 3 times a week, no problem. Yep. Start there.
Everyone has to start somewhere.
Exactly. So the point of Goggins and Jocko, they're just a bit extreme for most people.
Okay.
Goggins in particular, he's really extreme.
Okay.
Did any of that make sense?
Yes, it did.
Did it?
It did. Dad? Oh, where are you going? Ooh, striptease. Ooh, take it all off.
Okay, derobed. God almighty. Just can't get comfortable tonight.
What is going on over there?
I don't know, I'm just trying to get comfy.
Right, another point that
Go hard.
Oh.
Who's going to carry the boat?
Right. People haven't learned it's worth it if they have never achieved it. Explain.
Here's one more from Goggins, Fiona. Yeah, I heard that. There's a clip on where he's on Joe Rogan. You know Joe Rogan?
I do.
He's talking about how he has to sometimes look at his trainers for 30 minutes before he goes out and puts them on. Sorry, before he puts them on and goes out.
He has to look at them.
Yes.
For 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, who's got time for that?
Well, that goes into the point of you think these people are like superheroes. You think Jocko and him they were just born disciplined.
Oh, he's building up the motivation.
But sometimes he just doesn't want to go out and he looks at his trainers for half an hour before he puts them on. Because he knows what happens when he puts the trainers on. He goes for the 6-hour run.
Well, why doesn't he just go for 2 hours?
It's not enough.
6.
Not enough. You've got to stay hard.
Okay.
Who's going to carry the boat?
Yeah, but...
Right, okay, anyway. Yeah, let's go.
People haven't learned it's worth it if they've never achieved it. I think that's very good.
It's my own words.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, please elaborate then. I don't.
So I'll never know what it's like to have a 6-pack because I've never had it. Or
no, I'm not going to that level. No, because we don't need to be chasing 6-packs for most people.
Or the feeling of going to the gym becoming a routine because I have never achieved that. Because I always, after a couple of weeks, I was like, yeah, I've had enough of it. And I've never achieved. I feel great when I'm going to the gym, but I've never had it as a part of a routine in my life. So I've missed out because you have to go to the gym now. You have to go to the gym because it's part of your routine. You're disciplined to do so. You're motivated to do so because it's part of your routine and it'll make you feel better. Whereas at me going to the gym, I'll be there looking at my shoes for 3 hours beforehand, trying to build up the motivation to do so.
Right,
yes,
okay.
Trying to build up the motivation to do so. So I've never had that euphoria feeling that you have. So I've never achieved that. But I don't know what it is because I've never done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What pain are you willing to accept? What pain are you willing to accept every day? Most days, every day.
What do you mean pain?
If it's not painful, it's almost not worth doing. That's the thing about embracing your rotten attitude. I'm saying embrace your rotten attitude, which means your attitude remains rotten throughout. It doesn't mean embrace your rotten attitude and then you start loving the exercise. You start loving being conscious of what you're shoving in your gob. No, of course not. It's your rotten attitude remains throughout. Yes. It's just you need to start embracing it and doing something because you're not doing anything.
But then it gets easier as time goes on, doesn't it? Going to the gym.
Does it?
Because the first step is the hardest. It's signing up. It's going to the gym.
Yes, the micro steps. Yeah, the micro steps. Yeah, of doing that.
Once you're in there doing anything, it's great, and you feel good afterwards. Then you're excited to do it again, and then you take a couple of days off, and then it's back to square one. Hard to do it again. For me personally, you're disciplined because it's become part of your routine and your habit. So if you break that habit or that routine, then you feel like crap. Because you say, why haven't I gym today? Why didn't I do this today? You beat yourself up over it?
Yes.
So it's not about you being disciplined, because you are disciplined, because you've become so disciplined, it's part of your routine and habit. It's the motivation that is your problem, because sometimes you might lack the motivation. But because you're disciplined, you're still able to push yourself to go.
Of course, yes.
So, yes,
I
there you go. I'm back
I
on
can
track.
still get it done.
Yes. Whereas somebody who is not motivated or disciplined, it's a completely new habit, it's a completely new routine, and I have to change things in my day to do.
Well, no, people are relying on motivation and willpower. That's the difference. They're relying on it to do, and if they're only relying on that, chances are it's not going to get done. If they're relying on willpower or motivation alone to get themselves to go outside for a walk or to go to the gym, 9 times out of 10, it might not be there.
Mm.
Motivation comes and goes.
Yes. Even for yourself, it comes and goes. But you still do it because you're disciplined.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's you. What did you say at the start? I have to go to the gym because it sets me up.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to turn up for everyone else and myself and work and clients and be a half decent human being, it must get done.
Mm.
A couple of things that must get done.
Yeah, but
every day.
I was saying, if you didn't do that, if you didn't go to the gym,
I'd be a much worse person. Yeah.
But that's because, again, it's become part of your routine to do it. Whereas if I didn't go to gym, I'd be just like, oh, probably should have done that. Anyways, what's for dinner?
Right. So it's not worth it. They haven't learned, have they? So
exactly.
people haven't learned it's worth it if they've never achieved it. Right.
Yes.
Okay. I think that sort of made sense.
Yes.
Okay. What else? What else is on that fantastic set of notes I gave you that's worth discussing?
Going back to the gym, going back to your diet when you were miserable for so long.
I used to struggle with the idea of why people would choose to go back after they've done a diet, after they've lost a good amount of weight, after they've got into an exercise routine. Also based on what I just said about you don't really ever enjoy it.
Do you mean go back? How do you mean go back?
Well, they basically they start again.
The standard slip.
They
again.
might put the weight back on.
Yeah.
They might stop exercising completely. So they might go back to where they started. And unfortunately, people go even worse. They go back to where they started and some. They become even more deconditioned. They put on even more weight.
Yes, because it's easier to sit in front of the sofa and have a glass of wine or whatever, then go down to the gym, isn't it?
It links in with the fact that you never really do enjoy it. And that's okay. The rotten attitude. For the vast majority of people, you may never really truly enjoy exercising or being conscious of what you're shoving in your gob. There's always going to be that level of pain. And that's okay. There needs to be a bit of pain. If you're skipping into the gym and it's like, oh my God, just so happy to be here every day. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I just love watching what I eat all the time. It's great. That sort of defeats the point. There needs to be a bit of pain.
Yes.
Because if it's not painful, then it's almost too easy. If it's too easy, you then don't need the discipline. If it becomes too easy, if you can do it on autopilot, then, well, no. It's not realistic, is it? Embrace your rotten attitude, but your rotten attitude remains. It doesn't go. You don't embrace it and then, oh God, I'm free. The rotten attitude's gone. I just love exercise. Oh, I just love being conscious of what I shove in my gob. I love it.
Is anyone like that though?
No, but that's what
Some
people,
people are.
I think that's what people think. That's what people think they need to achieve. They need to go, oh God, how do I achieve it? How do I achieve really enjoying exercising? Look at all these people. All these people just loving it. Turning up to the gym all the time. Oh, I'm so jealous of them. They just love it.
Yeah, well,
They love going to the gym every day. They love being conscious of what they shove in their gob. They just love it.
Well, you're probably the only person who's actually fully honest with it. Because, before when I used to go to the gym and all of that type of stuff, you'd never usually hear people say, oh, yeah, I really struggle with the motivation to do it. But I have to do it. Because you're honest. You say what a pain in the arse it is to have to do.
Yes, for the most part.
Yeah, you're just like, it's crap. And you kind of understand the
Well,
motivation side
it's
of
not
things.
crap, Fiona. Like it's,
Well,
but
the idea of going and
it's
sitting
got
there
to get
thinking
done.
about it.
It takes, and a lot of people, they may never reach that level where it has to get done. But you need to get pretty close. You need to get as close as possible to the point of when you don't do the exercise, when you aren't conscious of what you shove in your gob for a sustained period of time. Say you don't do. Say you have over Christmas and periods of time where you let loose a little bit. You don't exercise as much. You go off your diet if you're on a diet, whatever. You need to get to the point or close to it where, for example, with Christmas coming up, that in the new year, you're chomping at the bit to get back to it.
What do you mean chomping at the bit?
You're chomping at the bit to get back to routine.
Oh, right. You're looking,
to get back to to get back to a routine.
Mm.
That doesn't mean you're looking forward to it as such. You're just chomping at the bit because you know you need that routine.
Mm.
I struggled with why people just happily went back to where they were before they started an exercise routine, before they started being more conscious of their diet. But for the most part, I think it's because they spent the whole time miserable. Yes, it was painful, but it was just utter misery. That's what a lot of people just associate that with. Yes, a bit of pain, but just misery. So much pain. Because they want the quick fix.
Hmm.
Right, okay. Take a few seconds. Let me have a glass of drink. Fucking hell. Glass of drink, do you know that? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If people don't see the results after a couple of days or a couple of weeks, they don't see the results that they want, such as I'm a size 16 today, in 2 weeks' time I want to be a size 12. It's unrealistic. So people then just give up because it's so miserable trying to do it because they're doing it to the extreme. Like, oh, I'm giving myself 2 weeks to lose 7 pounds. Or 1 week to lose 7 pounds. So I'm going to go into starvation mode. Or I'm going to do this for the whole time.
Starvation mode?
Well, you know what I mean.
We've talked about that, Fiona.
Yes, you know what I mean, though. But they're just so restrictive with everything. They're going to be completely miserable for that length of time. And then they're still not going to get the results that they want because it's so unrealistic. They just give up and just like, oh, frig this. Moving on.
But the quick fix is based on motivation. It's being motivated to do it.
Yes, to continue it.
Having the willpower to do it. I've got the willpower, I've got the motivation to do it for a certain period of time. But that's it. So if you base it on just that, and you don't think, oh, do you know what? Well, this needs to be a long-term thing. To make this a long-term thing, I need to be more disciplined. I need to start learning self-discipline. Because if I don't, if that's not the goal, then chances are this is going to be a short-term thing.
But everything is going to be a short-term thing because everyone has goals. So, I want to go to that wedding in 3 months' time. It's still a short-term
yes,
goal.
it's almost like every time someone goes, right, I'm ready to start a diet, I'm ready to exercise, I'm ready to embrace my right attitude. It's almost like, okay, are you willing to forget about the goals? Don't like the word goals. Goals is an end point, isn't it? It's okay, what happens if you don't reach the goal?
You give up.
But there's an end point. Oh, I've got a goal of doing this, right? Okay, but then what? Well, let's just get there first. It's like, okay, fine. That's okay. I want to lose 30 pounds. Well, let's lose one. Let's lose one. Let's lose one and keep it off.
One's better than none.
The goal is always the end point. It's a start and finish, isn't it? And that's, again, it's not the point. Motivation, start and finish. Willpower, start and finish. I think in the future, I'm going to ask everyone, right, okay, we need to make sure that you're willing to accept that you need to become disciplined. We're doing this to make you more disciplined. I'm not going to start shouting about the boats and say good at everything. I'm not going to start jockoing you or gogging-ins you. Gogginins. Forget about the goals. We need to set you standards, rules, whatever. Rules for yourself that you need to live by forever. Standards that you want to set to yourself. Standards you want to set for yourself. And the point of this is, at the end of the 30 days, the first 30 days, you're not going to be disciplined, but you're going to be on the right track. Because if you don't have that in mind, this whole diet, this whole 4-week, 6-week thing, you're going to be motivated. You're going to be driven by motivation. Willpower, that's going to come and go during the 30 days. That'll come and go just during the first 30 days. Motivation and willpower start depleting bit by bit. By the time you get to the end of the 30 days, it's gone all completely. Oh God, I'm knackered. I need a month off.
Do you find that with clients?
Hang on, what?
Usually after the 3rd or 4th week, that's when they start to lose the motivation, the willpower, the discipline.
Well, potentially, yeah. It depends how extreme it is. Well, not the Pushable Health Studio or on the app. It's not extreme. We go, here's 30 days. Let's just follow this for 30 days and go from there. But naturally, people, for the most part, can be a little bit extreme because they might have in their head, oh, well, I might only be here for 30 days. And I probably shoot myself in the foot a little bit because I say about the whole 30-day thing.
Mm.
In just 30 days, yes.
But it's only a stepping stone.
All that means is that I will put you in a position in 30 days for you to continue this, either here with me or elsewhere. Not to sack it off. Not to go back to what you're doing before. That's what's getting lost in translation, I feel.
And it's up to you to continue that, as in the client.
No. How do people think they're going to solve all their problems in 30 days?
Quick fix.
They might have another 40, 50 years left, yeah?
Yeah.
No, what are you going to do then? Setting yourself rules that you live by, standards.
Your environment will do much of the heavy lifting if you align it to where you want to go. So you were saying previously about living in an obesogenic environment and that type of stuff.
Yeah, so I think we've touched upon the old obesogenic environment quite a lot, to be honest. Yeah, if you're surrounded by cookies and cakes and they're everywhere and they're in the cupboard and every time you open the fridge there's a massive chocolate cake in there.
Those bloody eyeballs yesterday.
You're trying to lose weight. It's Halloween recently, yeah.
Temptation.
If you're trying to be more conscious of what you're shoving in your gob, think about your environment. Think about your food environment. It's the same if you want to start getting better with exercising. If you want to start walking a bit more, maybe join a walking club. If you want to become a bodybuilder, you should probably be around bodybuilders. If that's what you want to do. If you want to step on stage and put the fake tan on and starve yourself, you should probably be around people that are doing that.
Yeah, but I'd find it very difficult to be, if I came into the Pushable Health Studio and you were this big massive bodybuilder, like ripped, like steroided up and all of this, I'm literally like envisioning Arnie Schwarzenegger. I'd run a mile.
Arnold too?
Schwarzenegger. I'd run a mile. Because how can you ever relate to me who's struggling with weight when you look like that?
Well, that's an interesting point, Fiona. I think there is something to that. There is something to that. I don't know how far you push it. Where you've got, personal training, Alcohol Anonymous, whatever. Chances are the people that will be running groups or will be a personal trainer will have some skin in the game, will have some experience. They may have been an alcoholic. They may have been a drug addict. If I have clients coming in who have struggled with body image, with binge eating, emotional eating, weight going up and down, well, it helps that I've had that as well. If I've just been chiseled to the bone my whole life and I've had a ripped six-pack and I've never had a problem with binge eating or emotional eating, my weight's never gone up and down. I've never been quite rotund. Rotund. Heavy. Bigger.
Yes, I get it. I understand what it means.
Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, if I hadn't experienced that, then it's harder for me to then relate to Sally coming in, mother of two, put on a bit of weight after the children. Never exercised before, hasn't exercised since school, so 25 years ago. Never been conscious of what she was shoving in her gob. And there's me going, oh yeah, in my vest, nipple out, going, yeah, Sally, I've got you. I know exactly. Oh, all that stuff you just said, I know exactly where you're coming from. Do you?
Yeah, I don't think so. See, that's what I mean. I'd struggle with that a lot.
Right, attitude.
Yeah.
I feel most people, to a degree, they might not word it that way, but they've got a pretty smelly attitude when it comes to exercising. The idea of dieting. I'm your guy.
You were.
Come embrace it. What would you say about people who are in this position? If someone came in who was struggling with binge eating, and I myself used to binge eat, and I still do. Say I was still struggling with binge eating. We can communicate, and she could tell me about stuff, or he could tell me about stuff regarding binge eating that I can relate to because I've done it. I've been there, and I'm currently doing it still, now and again. So in one sense, I am the perfect person for Sally. But am I?
Well, you might be a bit too relatable if you're still currently doing it, and therefore you might be more easygoing about it, even though you're not going to be giving out to people. But you have more of an understanding, so you'd be probably more empathetic towards as the reasons as to why.
Relating, but properly being able to relate. Not just, oh yeah, I've known other people like you.
Yeah, so you might be more easy on that person. Instead of saying, right, you need to do this, you need to track, you need to whatever you say.
Right, so yeah, okay, so saying that, so that could be a good thing, but then could that also be a bad thing? If someone's talking about mental health, they've struggled with their mental health in the past, but they are also going through a period of pretty poor mental health, and they're talking to a room full of people who are all struggling in their own way. And at that precise moment, they are also struggling massively. So they can relate. But are they the right person to be helping those individuals right that second? Alcoholics. Yes, I used to be a former alcoholic. The person leading the group, but they relapsed yesterday.
Well, they wouldn't be doing that then because there's provisions in place.
Yes, but you see what I'm trying to say. In one sense, that's the perfect person to be helping them because they get it. They get it more than anyone. But at the same time, well,
it makes them more relatable, doesn't it? If you went in there to somebody who was completely absent the whole life or abstained from alcohol for the whole life, and was this person talking about alcohol addiction, you would never relate to that person because they wouldn't understand the trauma, what addiction does to the person and to the family, because they've never experienced it themselves. So it'd be very difficult to relate. I think, anyways. I'm assuming so.
Say someone comes into me, right? Well, let's finish on this. So there's something there, but we'll maybe touch upon it another time. If someone comes into me and I'm big guy, and I'm overweight, I'm pretty high on the old BMI. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm saying I help people lose weight every day. I help people embrace their right attitude to exercise and nutrition. But I've got this top on that is quite ill fitted, and I'm struggling with my own diet, and I'm not exercising. But I'm then asking people to embrace their right attitude, come join the gym. I can help them lose weight. I can help them exercise, but I'm not doing it. But I know what to do. I've gone through periods in my life that I've been great with exercise, and my diet's been on point. Oh, I've been embracing my right attitude. It's been great.
That's more about image, though, then, isn't it?
But I'm currently not doing it.
Well,
I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. There's a cure for every addiction. You just need to renew it every day.
Where's the hand and notes?
No, that's on my notes.
Why do you have different notes to me?
No, I don't think I gave you all the notes. I think I added more notes.
Oh, of course.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on the last episode, actually, and I just forgot. I forgot to. I know the hocus pocus one.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Yes, I forgot to expand on it. Something called ego depletion.
Right. So, Roy Baumeister's ego depletion theory is based on the idea that willpower is a finite resource.
Finite?
That can be depleted over time, especially after consecutive tasks requiring self-control. Key findings from his research include glucose as a fuel for willpower. So this suggests that willpower relies on glucose as a fuel source. He found that blood glucose levels drop after tasks requiring self-control, which can lead to a decreased performance in following tasks if glucose is not replenished. In experiments, participants who perform tasks requiring high levels of self-control, such as resisting temptation or focusing intently, showed reduced glucose levels and then performed worse on subsequent tasks needing willpower. Very interesting.
Right, yes, Carol Dweck. So we're going to compare old Roy's work to Carol Dweck. She did a book called Mindset. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Have you heard of her?
No.
Heard of those mindsets?
Nope.
Well, you can sort of work it out, can't you? A fixed mindset. What's a fixed mindset?
Don't know.
No room to grow.
Yes, I'm not going to the gym.
Right,
I'm not
yes.
doing that.
I can't do it.
Freak that.
I can't be, I'm overweight. I'm a big slob. I'm gross. I'm going to be like this forever. Nothing I can do about it. Fixed mindset. Growth mindset. You know what? I've got to try and get some self-discipline.
I'm going to go to that gym and I'm going to lose.
I'm going to start carrying the boat.
Yeah.
I can't do it now. I'm nowhere near carrying the boat, but I'm going to start trying to do something about it. I'm going to start trying to find a way to embrace my rotten attitude. Yeah, very good.
So Carol Dweck's findings challenge the assumption that willpower is purely constrained by physical resources such as glucose. Her research.
Well, it's late. It's late, Fiona. I'm struggling. I can barely get a sentence out.
Her research suggests that beliefs about willpower play a more significant role than physiological factors in determines people's resilience during successive tasks. Mindset over glucose. So Dweck's research reveals that willpower is not necessarily limited by glucose levels. Rather, it is shaped by one's belief about its availability. If individuals believe willpower is finite, they are more...
Finite? Oh,
finite.
Struggling with that one.
They are more likely to feel depleted, because I read it how it is. They are more likely to feel depleted and perform worse on subsequent tasks. Conversely, if they believe willpower is unlimited, they are less likely to experience fatigue and can maintain high performance across multiple tasks. Dweck's experiments shows that participants with a non-limited mindset about willpower perform better on demanding tasks and were more likely to persist regardless of glucose consumption. This suggests that one's belief about willpower significantly influences their actual stamina and capacity for self-control.
Whew. Good. Wow.
So who do we believe?
Does it make sense?
Baumeister or Dweck?
When you read these out, does it make sense?
Probably not, because I can't read things out loud.
Ooh. Well, this is the thing. I mentioned ego depletion. I've mentioned it a few times. And on the last episode, I had notes about it, and I forgot to follow it up. I don't think ego depletion is completely woo-woo. I've talked about ego depletion based on people at the end of the day, after a long day, a big, massive slog.
Like today?
Right, yeah, this is a huge slog. This is horrendous.
No,
actually.
I mean like today, we're doing this at the end of the day.
Yes, this is a slog.
We've had a busy day.
This is a slog. This is bad. Well, I've eaten. I'm not depleted. My glucose isn't depleted, I don't think.
Yeah, but
I'm tired.
You're in a food coma.
I'm tired. And if people, for example, have been really busy all day and have just not had a chance to eat or have just snacked, I think there's something to it. And also, if they feel or they've heard that willpower depletes over the course of a day, if they've heard about ego depletion, or if they're running off motivation, or if they're running off willpower, for the most part, chances are they could still get to the end of the day, or they could still be in a situation where they will make a decision based on the fact that they feel willpower, motivation is depleted, based on the fact that they've got this finite mindset, and also how they've eaten during the day. If they have just been snacking during the day and they've not had a proper meal, which a lot of people do, a lot of people are busy at work, so they just snack and they get to the end of the day and they're starving and they're stressed and everything else, maybe the glucose comes into play a little bit.
Well, yeah, because I used to always say if I work out, I want to work out in the mornings. Yeah, because what am I going to do on Tuesday when I work out? I'll be coming from work, I'll be starving. I won't be able to work out. Freak that. I'll have to eat.
Right. Okay, we'll have a little snack then, that's fine.
It's that easy, is it?
Without completely binning ego depletion, I still think there's something there. And also if you're doing lots of hard tasks back to back, if you're doing lots of tasks that are really grim back to back, again, I'm on board with the whole willpower and motivation. They don't really deplete. That is in your head. But if you're doing lots of tasks back to back from a psychological perspective, I think it's hard to fully remove the idea of you've only got so much energy for certain tasks. I don't mind the idea that we're come on, please. Fuck's sake.
It's like a skip CD. You know, when it keeps going and going and going. Sorry, darling. Proceed.
What was I saying?
You said it 4 fucking times.
No, I didn't. I didn't say it once.
Well, you did.
I said
you
2 or 3 words 3 or 4 times.
I can't remember what you were saying.
Right, so what's your opinion on it?
What, to ego depletion? Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, compared to...
Carol.
Yes.
Is that her name? Carol. Well, I kind of get what both of them are saying. Because obviously you have to have the willpower to do it. Regardless if you're feeling shit, if you've got the willpower to do it, you will just do it.
No, but the point is it goes back again to...
Depletion.
This horrendous episode, self-discipline. Discipline.
Yeah.
The point is if you're disciplined, if you can ingrain the discipline, ego depletion, take away the science, take away the glucose stuff, for the most part, probably runs more on willpower and motivation. Which in your mind, if you're running on both of those day to day, and that's what gets you through the day, chances are you're going to think they will be depleted. They deplete. If that's what you're running on, that makes sense. The whole battery theory, I think what's his face, old Mr. Trump, he's talked about how he runs on a battery. He hasn't got the energy to exercise because he's just too busy.
Right.
So he's not on board with the whole, well, if you exercise, you become more energized. Realistically, the only reason this is getting done is because I'm disciplined.
Yeah. And I'm just doing what I'm told, so I'm disciplined.
If I wasn't disciplined, there is no way in hell on a Sunday evening when I'm half dead, I would turn that camera on.
But it's motivation as well, isn't it?
Yes,
hand in hand.
If I was relying just on motivation and willpower,
we wouldn't be doing it.
This wouldn't be happening.
God, no.
Just would not be happening.
I'd be having an episode of Brassicon right now.
Yes, right, okay. Finishing off then, Fiona. Right, so, Dweck.
Who? Oh, right.
What's your...
Dweck.
Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it then? Summarise.
Oh, I can't do that, Ben.
What's your opinion on the fact that it's a limited belief, isn't it? Your willpower will be... It doesn't run out.
No. But it's controlled.
It will only run out if you think it does.
Yes. And it's all these different factors that impact on it, I suppose. Would that be the word?
Yeah.
Yes. Impact. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Effect? No, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
But I think the fact that it's based more around mindset can be very useful for a lot of people.
Yes.
So the ego depletion thing, let's move that. Let's get rid of that.
Well, the ego depletion thing, it is a bit sciencey.
Let's get rid of it. So for some people, pretend it doesn't exist. Because if they read that, they're like, oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah.
What am I meant to do? Ego depletion, glucose levels. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They don't know what it means, but they see that and go, oh, God, yeah, well, what am I meant to do? I've had a long day. Ego depletion. I'm knackered. The willpower's all gone. Motivation's all gone. I'm going to have to eat the pizza. What more can I do? I can't go to the gym.
I think people struggle. Oh, sorry, this is completely gone off topic. But I'm assuming people will struggle more in wintertime with motivation with the darker evenings. I do. I was thinking that yesterday about, what day was it? There was a day that you had a client at like 6 o'clock. Must have been Friday. And I was at your mum's and I was thinking, God, who's coming in training at 6 o'clock? Like, it's dark.
Well, it's not too late, is it, really?
Yeah, I know.
6
but
o'clock.
That's what I was thinking.
It's about right. That's after work.
In my head, it's dark and it's just like, absolutely not. For me. Fair play to them.
Okay. Right. I guess we're not talking about the film then.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
2006, 8 out of 10 on the IMDb.
8 out of 10?
Yeah. That's quite good.
A
struggling salesman takes custody of his son as he is poised to begin a life-changing professional career.
Oh, dear.
That's that.
Discipline. You turn up for these. Yeah.
Director, Gabriele Muccini.
Do you have anything to say about the film? Because
it was a very nice film.
Okay.
It was one of those films where you feel as though you are rooting for him and you do want him to get the job, but obviously it's very...
Will Smith.
Yeah, it's Will Smith. And, well, actually, I don't really mind him, to be fair. But...
He's not a bad actor, is he? He's just got that messed up situation at home.
You kind of know how it's going to pan out. It's based on a true story as well. But you kind of know how it's going to pan out. You know that he's going to improve.
Well, because it's based on a true story,
yeah. Well, yeah, but you do know how it's going to pan out.
But it goes back to what I've said before. Was it the last episode?
It was bleak,
there was another episode recently which I was harping on about. You don't hear from the losers.
It's very emotive. Would be the word.
You only hear from the winners.
Like that scene where he's in the bathroom.
Sorry, are you not listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No,
Ben.
sorry, I was talking.
Yeah, so was I, and then you butted in.
No, it linked in what you were saying. It was directly linked to what you were saying.
So anyways, very emotive scene when he's in the bathroom where the son's lying on him and he's there like with the tears filling in. He's trying to control his emotions, but he's struggling. Found that was quite emotive. And then when he found out he got the job, it was a very different situation, but it was the exact same response that he had. He was still trying to contain the emotions, but there are different emotions. And then you only see him lose that little bit of control when he went outside and was like...
Yes, that was, yeah.
So yeah, it did touch on a chord, but you knew how it was going to end. The wife hated her.
No, yeah, sorry. We could probably do a slightly better review, but there's absolutely no way I'm talking about this film now. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. And I don't... The ego depletion, I'm not on board with it, but bloody hell.
Can I just say...
Can we go back to my point quickly?
Oh, I'm so sorry, darling.
So
yes, proceed.
We only hear from the winners, don't we? So unfortunately, there's lots of people like Will Smith out there who have done maybe lived a similar life and never got off the street.
Yes.
Never got to that position.
In this movie, all the homeless people, actors, they were paid $8.14 minimum wage for the hours that they worked.
Oh, well, they're homeless, were they?
Yes, they're actually homeless people.
Right, okay.
And they were paid. They got a wage for doing it.
No, that's nice of them,
That's good. Yep. Bit trivia for you.
Well, actually, there's not much to say about the film, is there? Really? It's about perseverance, discipline. Yeah,
he was very disciplined, but sometimes he wasn't very nice. But you understand why he wasn't very nice, because he was obviously the weight was on his shoulders, wasn't it? And he wasn't sleeping. He put too much stuff on himself.
Happiness is you're always pursuing happiness.
Yes.
Yes. So the reason he used the word pursue is like, oh, okay, why'd you say that when it comes to happiness? You're always pursuing happiness. You're never fulfilled. The hedonic treadmill. Jefferson, he was talking about the hedonic treadmill. That's what he was talking about.
Thank you.
That's a disgusting review. It's embarrassing.
Can I just say the one time that we did a really, really shit review, the camera stayed on the whole way through.
It's still on.
The whole way through.
That's a shame. It's fine. It's
fine.
Basically, Will Smith is only getting up in the morning because he's disciplined. If he was relying on motivation and willpower, he wouldn't have done it.
Yes.
That'd have been depleted a long time ago.
And you know what? He got there.
Right.
Goodbye.
No, hang on. Sorry.
Right, he's got more. Okay.
Well, let me finish off then, because the review was a disgrace. Let me finish off on a couple of... a definition of discipline. We should have probably opened with this, because that would have made sense. You know, how do you define discipline?
How do you define it, Ben?
Well, there's a few definitions of discipline, but Ryan...
Just one.
Ryan Holiday, have you heard of him?
Yep.
Obstacle is the way.
Obstacle is the way.
Destiny is...
Destiny.
What's the other one? What does he do? Discipline is destiny. Ego is the enemy. He's very good.
Yeah,
Stoicism. You know, Marcus Aurelius. And
all them buckles.
Holiday asserts that discipline is the ability to restrain your baser urges in pursuit of what's best for you.
Oh, I like the way he used the word pursuit there.
When you're disciplined, you act with moderation and you prize your ability to have total control.
Total what?
Over yourself.
Control, I think he said.
Listen to you too much. Long day.
Proceed.
Like all humans, you face temptations, but you can resist these temptations when you need to. And if you do choose to indulge in them, you do so with restraint.
Ooh.
Are you okay there, Fiona?
Yeah, I've literally just gone
Discipline
completely over my head.
Well, that was very good, actually.
Well, read it again then.
Wasted on you.
I literally did
Discipline.
take a word in.
Here's another one.
After yours.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I know him.
Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Why don't you start that one? That's not very simple. Why do you have to always go with the complex ones?
Right, okay. What's this one? Oh, I've got something from Mark Manson about pain.
Go on then.
What pain do you want to endure? What pain do you want?
None.
Choose your regrets.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to suck at? Okay, that will do. That will do.
That'll do.
That was just...
That was
No, but it's fine.
a
No, but
minefield.
it's one of those. It's fine. Because
an hour and 10.
you should be able to turn up and get these done whenever. And at the end of the day,
We got it
it's
done.
just an excuse. It's just an excuse. It would have been so much easier not to do it. And it's just an excuse. It's just an excuse, Fiona. It's discipline. Discipline has made us turn up today. I've forgotten what else I was going to say.
I do think that we're best off scheduled for our 8 a.m. morning.
Probably,
start.
yeah.
I do think
But
that.
then also you have to do another 80 of these at least.
Exactly. How many have we done?
15, 16. So you got to do another 84, 85 of these. It's just part of the course.
Yep.
You just got to keep turning it. And
And then it'd come more natural.
you got to practice what you preach. Because if I wouldn't have turned up and I wouldn't have put this subpar performance in, what does that say?
I think my performance is
Oh,
the
where
same.
were you, Ben? What about the episode on discipline? Oh yeah, I just didn't have the motivation to do it. Oh, hang on a minute.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was late on Sunday, long day. Just the willpower wasn't there. Oh, okay. Oh dear. Right.
Yes.
How ironic.
We showed up and we did it. That's the main thing. Goodbye.
Pushing your health. Come on.
From
At least
Pulse
end.
of life.
Pushable health.
Pushing your health.
They do get better. This is a rough one.
From the Pulse of life.
There's an app.
There is.
There's an app. You can join the app. There's so much on the app.
There's lots.
So much on the app. Access to me. Hundreds of videos of exercises. All sorts of guides to keep you disciplined. To help you learn self-discipline. 30 days.
I'm
Join.
actually starting 30 days.
Yes. Only join, though. Only join if you're willing to become self-disciplined. Don't
Remember.
join
Oh.
for 30 days if you're relying solely on motivation and willpower. Because
No.
chances are, you get to the end of the 30 days, you might not have reached the goal. Oh.
You just need
There's
to say
something
goodbye.
there. There's something
you just
there.
need to say goodbye. Remember, no pain, no gain.
Self-discipline.
No pain, no gain.
Sorry?
No pain, no gain.
Okay.
Is that a movie?
Pain and gain.
Oh, that's
We've already talked about
All right, goodbye.
that. Okay.
Shalom.
Pushing you off.
Run fuzz of life.